What's up everybody, I'm Jesse Showalter, and today we're talking about contracts, proposals, and all sorts of client documents. Because if you're gonna be doing any sort of freelance or contract work where you're actually working with a client, you're gonna wanna be professional, keep yourself safe, keep the project on track, and try not to get sued. I mean, I've never personally been sued by a client, but that's because I use these types of documents. This video is kindly sponsored by the people over at Wondershare who make an awesome product called PDF Element. Let's get real for a second. PDFs are kind of a pain in the butt. They're not the fun part of doing creative work or client work, but they're a necessity. You always have to open them up. The clients need stuff in PDF format. You gotta sign things and send things and revise things. And there's very few good platforms to help you take care of PDFs. Well, PDF Element kind of changes all of that. It allows you to really easily and simply take control of your PDFs, update things on the fly without having to open up your design software again. Wondershare has kindly offered 20% off to subscribers of this channel. You can find the link and the discount code down in the description, so go check out PDF Element because it's something you're gonna have to deal with, so why not make it a little bit more fun? Okay, first up, let's talk about proposals. Proposals are a super important document that you're gonna send to clients after you've made that initial contact. So you've done a little meet and greet, you've figured out who they are and what their needs are and what the project scope might look like, and then you're gonna go back to your desk and you're gonna work out a proposal and send it to them, and the idea is that you are proposing to them. You're proposing almost like in marriage, saying, will you take me to be the person who does this work for you? Now, similar to marriage, the proposal has to be really impressive, just like a wedding ring, because they might be getting proposals from other suitors as well. So you wanna make sure that your proposal really stands out by hitting the mark and telling them everything that they wanted to know, as well as a few things they never knew they wanted. So what goes into a proposal? What should be in this thing? The first thing I like to do is start a proposal off with a really beautiful cover letter and a little section about myself. Who I am, what I do, what I specialize in, as well as some client testimonials and a few pieces from my portfolio that match the type of work that the proposal is meant for. The next section should really have to do with the project itself, an overview of what you can do for them. You want to list a basic summary of what the project is, the project goals as you see them, and then I always like to add a little service breakdown of the types of services that I offer that would match the goals to this particular project and end up accomplishing those goals. The next section is all about price and time, which is what every client probably wants to hurry up and get to. So when it comes to pricing, I always like to offer my clients a few different price packages that would help fit their budget. My packages always consist of one that hits the client's exact needs as they stated them, another one that's even cheaper that strips away any features I feel might be superfluous to the project, and a third package that offers some serious value and makes them think twice about what they first came to you for. Next up is a project timeline. It's really important for clients to see that your process that you described earlier is now implemented into kind of ambiguous time blocks. Don't give them specific dates and hours and months, but give them time blocks. 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 days for this portion, 3 days for this portion, 5 weeks for this portion. However you want to map out those time blocks, that's fine, but let them see your process and how it actually equates to working with you in real life. The last thing that I include in a proposal, and I think it's actually kind of unique to me, I always include a critique and a short competitive set to help the client see that I'm already thinking about their project and I already know how to solve their project. Okay, the next thing is, how do you build a proposal? Where do you get one? How do you make one? It's a big question. Well, the first way is you could make the whole thing yourself. You could design the whole layout, build all the copy, do all the images, do all of it by yourself. It's true that it's a lot of work, but it might be worth it to you to put that custom touch on your proposal. If you don't want to build your own from scratch, you can download a template. Even if you want to build your own from scratch, downloading a template might give you a good idea of the different sections, how to lay them out, and the type of copy that you can find inside. If you feel like automating the process a little bit more, there's some awesome products out there that will help you do it. One of the products that I really enjoy is called Prospero. It was created by Rand Segal, who runs a YouTube channel called Flux. Him and his partners created a really awesome platform for creatives to make proposals and then send those out. And it's just like a really streamlined process, really easy. I think you could probably make a proposal in like 5 or 8 minutes and have the whole thing sent out, and it's just a really nice experience. So, okay, next up is a contract. This is the thing that's gonna save your behind if you get into legal trouble. Never do work on a handshake, always do work on a contract. I think contracts can be really daunting because they usually have a lot of legalese inside of them and kind of lawyer speak that you don't understand. So finding the right resources and finding the right things to be in that contract is really, really important. Okay, so what should be inside of a contract? Well, I think first things first is the scope of work. You have to lay out in a really detailed way what you're gonna be providing, when it's gonna be delivered, and what you're not gonna be providing. A lot of people get into trouble when they don't put limitations and parameters on what it is that they are providing for a client. If you're gonna do one thing excessively, it would be to outline the scope of work. The next thing you need to have is a very detailed breakdown of the quote of the project itself. How much are you charging for this project? How are you charging for this project? Are you doing value-based pricing? Are you doing a flat fee? Are you charging an hourly rate? Do you have to break those things down into itemized categories? But making sure it's very clearly understood how much this is gonna cost and when it's gonna be delivered, super important. I think the next big piece is ownership and intellectual property rights. Who's owning this work after it's been delivered? Is the client owning it? Are you owning it? Are they leasing it from you? Do you have to sign an NDA? Are you allowed to post these things on your portfolio? All those things are really, really important to hash out up front. This is business, it's nothing personal. We just wanna figure out what the state of our business is. Lastly, this is something I always wanna make sure I include, is a section called what happens when the poop hits the fan? Because a lot of times the poop will hit the fan. Things are gonna go wrong, you might get sick and you might miss a delivery date or a milestone. What happens in those use cases? So now that we know what needs to be in a contract, how do you make a contract? Because I don't know about you, but I don't speak legalese. One of my favorite resources for contracts to get you going is put out by a guy named Andy Clark on his website called Stuff and Nonsense, and he has a post that I'll link down in the description called The Contract Killer. He's kind of sifted through all of that legalese and made more sense of it for creatives and freelancers. It's a really great place to start if you're looking for something. Well, that's it. That's the basics of client documents and proposals and contracts. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I make lots of videos about design and development and even a little bit about business like this, so maybe stick around. Also, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and check the description for all the helpful links I mentioned, as well as the 20% off discount for PDF Element, because it might help you with these different documents you're making. I hope you guys are having an amazing week designing amazing things, making amazing things, and being smart about your client documents. See you in the next one.